What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of NAS100 analysis today, and we're going to be picking up from where we left off yesterday, from yesterday's video. So yesterday's video talking about the NAS potential moves it could make, and bearing in mind today was a bank holiday, so I checked my inbox and I saw the email from my broker telling me today was a bank holiday. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, you know. Obviously we knew from yesterday, but I wasn't going to come in here and tell you that it was actually a thing. So I checked after I did the recording, uploaded, and it appeared to be so. But markets was open today, but however, because it's a bank holiday, volatility was going to be super low. So however, what I basically did today was I took a trade, right? So I took a trade. It was a simple one. I wasn't expecting a crazy payout. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even expecting to win that trade. But to be fair, I took a trade, right? So this morning, this morning, obviously, I woke up, price had gone up to around this level over here and come back down. So it was about 9 o'clock during the day. It shot back up to this level. So I had this drawn. So I have trading view on my phone as well, right? So I'm going to show you exactly what I did on my phone, right? And how I basically played it. So say for example, all of this hadn't taken place. So what I did was I could see this was the situation that was happening, right? And price already got to this level and was beginning to pull back down again. So what I basically did was I just hopped in here. I just hopped in there on a nice little light one. I took a sell right here, right? So it's about this one, right? Actually, let me go into the 5 minute and then I should be able to pinpoint the exact candle I took. Okay, so we're now on a 5 minute, right? And I took this one here. So this one right here is the one I took. So I'm just going to draw it for you on here so you have an idea. Because the reason why I took it, because it was clearly under the 20 moving average, right? And because we had a trend, this was the trend over here, I kind of knew worst case scenario it was going to just get to this level over here and then begin to push up. So I set it up at around this level over here. It got there. I had a little trailing stop around when did I jump out? Because I jumped out roughly around 5 o'clock, dead on 5, but it was high. Okay, I think it was this one that I jumped out on. So I jumped out on this trade right here, right at this location, which was about 5 o'clock, give or take, right? So yeah, so I jumped out about then and then just left this that. So I've got a couple of pips, nothing too crazy, but it was nice, you know. So I got that and I'm happy with that. So we're gonna leave that here as it is, and we're gonna focus on what is going to be going on tomorrow, because that is why you guys are here and that is what we need to talk about. So I'm just gonna come out of the 5 minute, go back into the hour. Let's get rid of these drawings. We're gonna keep this little one there for a minute because it could still help, right? And let's get rid of these two. Let's get rid of these two. Is this one useful? Either if it is, we'll bring it back. Okay, so as it stands right now, okay, this is how current price is looking, and markets is going to be opening roughly in about the next 2 hours. So it's going to be opening around 11 p.m. tonight. If you're in the UK, if you're across the world, then obviously that equivalent time will then apply to you when market opens. So market will be opening, right? And there's a couple things that we can see market might want to do, right? So the first one is something like this. If it does indeed push up, it could break from where it is, because we do have the shape that signifies that it might want to break down, okay? But at the same time, it could push up one more time before it does anything like that and then push back up again. And I'll explain what I mean by push back up again, right? So tonight, when market opens, we could get something like this, okay, right? And then what could happen is at some point it could break down, right? If it does break down, there is a level that we need to be super mindful of, right? So I'm going to draw this out as like this for now, right? But I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so this area is an area that is really important. It is really important, okay? Especially if market breaks down. So if market opens tonight, pushes up to this level, and then between the early hours of the morning and roughly around the afternoon before US market opens, if it finds itself at around this level, then we're going to need to be cautious. Why do we need to be cautious? Because tomorrow we have news. We have news, my friends, right? And the news that we have tomorrow is okay, is the flash service PMI. Okay, so the flash service PMI is what will be coming out tomorrow. Okay, and this will be coming out at 2:45. So I'm in the UK, so that's 2 p.m. and 45 minutes or 2:45. Okay, depending on where you are, you need to find the corresponding time zone for you. But this news is going to be coming out. What is expected is 47.3. That is what they're saying. So we need to wait to see what the actual data is. And once that data comes out, depending on where market is, we can then put in a few assumptions, either just before it is released, okay, or when it is released, we'll have an idea. So for example, what could happen is price may begin to push up, or we could do a violent swing to the upside, at which point I highly recommend you don't try to attempt to catch it. Wait for it to slow down before you try to catch it. All right, that's what I will say to you, right? But however, I leave that to you. That is something that you do. If you, whatever way you want to do it, it's how you do it, right? Because we're all, you know what I mean, adults over here, right? So right, so that's what I think. So I think price, if price pushes up and then comes down, actually, you know what? Scrap the whole idea of price pushing up, right? Yeah, right. The main thing, the main meat of the story is price is here right now. If price should find itself down here, okay, before the news flash, we need to be ready, prepared for what could potentially happen. And reason why I say prepared is we have these levels over here, okay. Price hasn't broken below this zone, right? The zone in question is this right here. So I'm just gonna mark out this zone for you. So we're looking at, that's the top end, and this is the bottom end of that zone, with just a little bit of a few, maybe 1 or 2 pips to spare, right? So on the top side, we're looking at 12,228.61. That's the top of the zone. The bottom of the zone is 12,176.75. That is the bottom of the zone. It's not exactly exact, right? The numbers, just because we have a little bit of space just under here, right? A little bit of space just under here. And this just goes in, but we're just going to mark this whole area as a zone. So it could just go somewhere like this and then begin to push up. But the main thing is where it is when the news is about to release, okay? And where it starts heading off to once the news is released, right? And depending on the kind of news that has been released, that should help give you an idea as to what way it is going to go, all right? So that's my take on that. So now we're going to go into the less reliable indicators that we have on the screen, and these are the moving averages. I do use them. They're not that reliable, but they're relatively okay to use if you use them in a certain context, okay? So the first thing that we can see here, going by what we got in this move over here, right, is we have a cross of the moving average 20 and the moving average 200, right? And we have this shape. We need to take a note of that, right? That's super important. We take a note of that, right? It's underneath. And then we're going to jump into the day. So we're going to go into the day real quick and let's see what the day has to say for itself. And we can see with the moving average on, right, we have a cross in the same location, right? But this time it's pointing to a push to the upside, okay? And we have a structure over here that supports a push to the upside, all right? Now, I'm not saying it's 100% going to push to the upside, because like I always say in all the videos, I don't have a crystal ball and I don't know, okay? But however, there is, the market is supporting the idea of a push to the upside. Now, all we need is the fundamental data to support that also. If the data supports that, i.e. when the data is released tomorrow, depending on what the data says, okay, right, we would know if it supports a bearish move or a bullish move, right? If it supports a bullish move, then literally it's going to be quite straightforward in terms of what you need to do, right? Okay, so that's my take on the moves for tomorrow. There's a good chance that tomorrow evening I'll also be doing another video, but don't quote me on that, but there's a good chance I may come in here with some content based on how I've interpreted the news and how I responded, if I responded at all. All right, so with all of that covered, my awesome people, if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, make sure you do, especially if you're new to the channel. You're going to love the content that's on here, especially if you want to learn how to navigate the markets, because this is my take on how I navigate the markets. You could use that with your own personal training that you do it on the side, and maybe you might find that an idea or two that you may not have thought about, that I have talked about, that you could incorporate into how you overall navigate the market. So that's one. Two, make sure you turn on the notification. Drop us a like if you found the content super useful, and I know you will find the content super useful, so make sure you do that. And anything else that you do on top of that is a bonus, right? Will be appreciated, and it's a bonus. So with all of that covered, once again, I want to thank you for coming over to watch another episode of NAS100 analysis, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video very, very soon. So for now, this is Pips and Points signing out.